Firefighters comforted one of their own Friday morning after he learned a fire killed his brother and sister-in-law. Neighbors say they heard explosions, then sirens.
When I came outside, everything was on fire. It does make you nervous. My prayer is that they were able to get out of the home.
But Robert and Jeanette Wilkerson didn't make it.
We did find 2 fatalities inside of the structure.
The heat from that fire was so intense that it shattered a neighbor's window on the house next door.
So I was nervous about it, but yeah, I'm more concerned about them.
Neighbors say Robert was a retired electrician and Jeanette a retired school teacher. They say the Wilkersons had lived on Kirkley Drive for decades.
I'm a friend to him. I've been knowing him about 40 years.
They was real nice people.
JFD says they're praying for the victim's family and ask the community to do the same. In Jackson, Hadass Brown, 16 WAPT News.
Yeah, take a look at this map. That fire happened on Kirkley Drive near Nakoma. Neighbors say the pressure from the water hoses was so strong, it triggered a water main break on that street. Now, the city has not announced a boil water notice in that area as of yet. Megan, we now have the memorial plans for our friend Bert Case.
Oh, we sure do, Tammy. His wife Mary says it will be this Monday. Bert died yesterday after fighting sepsis and complications from it since September. His family will host that memorial service at St. Paul Catholic Church in Flowood. It's scheduled to begin at 11. Then after that service, a 2-hour reception. Now, if you would like to share your memories of Bert, you can head over to the 16 WAPT Facebook page or comment on WAPT.com. The CDC confirming dozens of cases of Zika virus across the U.S. 16 WAPT's Ann Parker talked with a doctor today on how to find out Mississippians can stay safe, Ann.
All right, Megan, more than 30 cases have been confirmed in the United States so far, all brought back from travel abroad. And we spoke with Dr. Timothy Quinn this afternoon, who says the mosquito-borne virus has flu-like symptoms similar to West Nile. Quinn says the disease is easy to avoid, but the group most at risk, pregnant women.
Because the unborn child could develop birth defects, most commonly microcephaly, where the baby will have a very small head, which can cause a lot of problems in that child's life.
If travel is necessary, it is recommended that those pregnant women talk with their doctor first, because there are some precautions they would need to take while they're in other countries. Now, health officials say 20 people contracted Zika in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. Pregnant women in the U.S. are getting refunds from airlines and cruise operators traveling to the Caribbean and Latin America. The FDA is also reviewing the policy on blood donations as Zika continues to spread.
So scary for expectant mothers, and thank you. Well, Nissan issuing a recall for cars made right here in Mississippi. Officials say the Nissan Altima has a problem with its hood latch. Several owners of the cars say their latches have broken and their hood went flying open while they were driving. Nissan says nearly 1 million cars are affected by this recall. Workers made the Altimas at the Canton plant and another factory in Smyrna, Tennessee. Jackson State's journalism program with a big announcement today, Tammy.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. Jackson State is teaming up with Ole Miss, Megan. Now, the schools say this is a first-of-its-kind partnership. The 2 journalism schools will share teachers and work together on research projects.
Now, with a connection here, they can come and take classes here and cover government, and then they can go back to Oxford. Their folks can come and get the benefit of some of our people who are specialists where they don't have specialists. So it's a win-win for all of us.
We believe that when we put these 2, may I say, powerhouses together, that students are going to benefit, faculty will benefit, and both our universities will benefit.
Now, this announcement came as JSU leaders confirmed that they let their FCC license lapse. Now, that means Jackson State's TV station is off air. Federal authorities told the school to make upgrades to its transmission tower to keep their license. JSU officials say they made the changes, but then didn't file the necessary paperwork to stay on the air. They're working with federal authorities to get a new license as soon as they can. Well, the ACLU of Mississippi says it's against using a firing squad, the gas chamber, or the electric chair to execute prisoners. The group calls the methods barbaric. The state's attorney general made the proposal as a possible backup to lethal injections. Now, that came after the state announced it might terminate lethal injections because of the controversy surrounding the drugs. Jim Hood defended his proposal.
Courts have upheld all those methods. The gas chamber is still up there and still sitting there, and that would be the first method, and then the electric chair and then a firing squad. Hopefully we will never have to have those.
Now, just to let you know, Utah approved firing squads just last spring, and Oklahoma became the first state to legalize nitrogen gas to execute prisoners last year. Well, Jackson firefighters say they let a brush fire burn out on its own, actually. That scene was off of Interstate 55 and Fernwood Drive. Now, fire crews say someone was burning trash and tree limbs at that scene. They say it wasn't an authorized burn. Firefighters stayed with the fire until it went out. No word on if the person that set that fire will face any charges. Well, making a big rally for a presidential hopeful, we're talking about Bernie Sanders right here in Jackson.
Yeah, that's right, Tammy. Bernie Sanders' campaign has been touring historically black colleges and universities all over the country. And last night, they made a stop at Tougaloo. A loud crowd for sure at the latest stop on what they're calling the Feel the Burn HBCU tour. Our crew was there as one supporter shared why he stands behind the Vermont senator.
Look at the walk, and if the walk is lined up with the talk. And I can safely say that Bernie Sanders is walking the walk that he's talking.
The latest polls show Sanders in a tight race with Hillary Clinton for Iowa and New Hampshire. And on the Republican side, frontrunner Donald Trump taking a victory lap in New Hampshire today after skipping out last night's GOP debate. His rivals are all in Iowa, making their final pitch to voters before Monday's caucuses. 16 WAPT's Sally Kidd is live in our Washington newsroom with an update for us. And Sally, just 3 days to go now.
That's right, Megan, and the campaigns are in overdrive, hitting multiple cities with back-to-back events trying to persuade voters to show up on caucus day. While the rest of the field focuses on Iowa,
I don't even think I have to campaign anymore. Why am I even wasting my time?
Donald Trump flew to New Hampshire for a day of campaigning that included attacking his closest rival, using an offensive term referring to babies born to non-citizen parents.
Ted Cruz is an anchor baby in Canada. It is a problem for him, by the way. I think that's one of the reasons he's crashing. I think that's one of the reasons he's a nervous wreck, too.
Cruz made the rounds in rural Iowa today and accused Trump of pandering to Iowa voters.
It's easy to come to Iowa and propose, as Donald Trump did, let's expand the ethanol mandate. Now, next week, he may have a different position.
Marco Rubio and other GOP contenders appealed for support across the Hawkeye state.
To ask you to caucus for me on Monday night.
I hope you'll caucus for me.
Polls show some Iowa Republicans remain undecided or say they could change their mind.
For those who haven't decided, tick-tock, tick-tock.
The Democratic candidates are also making their final pitches.
Those of you who are still shopping, trying to make up your minds, I hope I can persuade you.
It is our campaign that is generating the excitement and the interest for a large voter turnout.
And turnout will be key. Now, analysts say the Iowa caucus traditionally has been a very good predictor of how well Democrats will do, but on the Republican side, not so much. Live in Washington, Sally Kidd, 16 WAPT News.
Okay, Sally, thank you. Now, 16 WAPT is highlighting the biggest issues leading up to the Mississippi primary. It's 7 weeks away. This week, our topic is immigration. In our non-scientific Instapoll 16, we asked how important to you when it comes to voting for president is immigration. 78% of you, I believe our last results there, said it was very important. Yeah, you can see the latest numbers, 78% saying very important. Well, a former Mississippi State mascot now dropping her lawsuit against the school. Michaela Mills took MSU to court after a golf cart hit her during the 2013 Egg Bowl. Mills' attorney filed a motion to drop that case yesterday. Want to give you a live look outside if we can using our Vicksburg Skycam. State officials have reopened all lanes to traffic there. Authorities closed portions of that river due to flooding. Now in Natchez, the city's still dealing with high water. Adams County says their levels aren't quite out of the flood stage yet. We do want to bring David in to talk about this. You said that it would take time for those water levels to drop.
It went below Vicksburg flood stage a couple days ago.
Yeah.
I think Sunday or Monday it goes below flood stage in Natchez, but I don't think it's really causing much in the way of problems now, but it has been a slow
Sure has.
way on the way down. Hey, this evening, look at these temperatures. A coat is not needed. No doubt about it. We got a warm stretch of weather. Don't get used to it, though. I'll talk about everything that's going to be going on over the next few weeks coming up.
Oh, but it is great for now, David. Thank you. Mississippi Movies, 2 films involving the Magnolia State creating serious buzz and local talent. Some familiar faces will be on the field for the NFL's Pro Bowl. You're watching 16 WAPT News, live at 5.
Starting Thursday, we're asking tough questions. From reducing crime to healing the sick, we ask scientifically, does prayer work? Plus, who's accountable for cleaning up our jails? And how schools respond to safety threats. Starting Thursday at 10 on 16 WAPT News.
Did you put off your new vehicle purchase over the holidays? Well, wait no longer. Mac Haik Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is ready to put you in the perfect vehicle at the perfect price. We've handpicked 50 brand new 2015 vehicles to price at Kelley Blue Book used retail prices. Brand new Jeeps, cars, trucks, all at used car pricing. Going on now through January 31st. Wait no longer. Come to Mac Haik now at 5395 I-55 Jackson.
Guys, to celebrate Super Bowl 50, I'm rewarding fans with a special offer. Order a large pizza and get a second large pizza for 50 cents.
50 cents? That's pocket change.
If only we had pockets.
What? Purely decorative.
Get a large one-topping pizza for only 50 cents when you order any large pizza at regular menu price. Add our new Brookie for just $6 more.
Better ingredients.
Better pizza. Better football. PapaJohns.com.
On your mark, get set.
Punch it.
Get the ride of your life in the 2015 Nissan Altima. With blind spot warning and up to 270 horsepower.
What is not to love?
It's really comfortable. It fits to my body.
Now, camera.
Choose Nissan Altima with 0% financing for up to 72 months or get no payments for 90 days. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Innovation that excites.
It's a total elimination at Heron Gears Chevrolet.
Rows and rows of 2016 Silverados have arrived.
Take $10,000 off a new 2016 Silverado now.
It's the biggest Chevy event ever.
2016 Malibus starting at $17,988. Yes, just $17,988. Or cruise into 2016 in a new Chevy Cruze. Just sign and drive with a very low $137 a month.